Hi guys, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. I've been so busy. Life has been lifing and I'm just ripping and running. Today was a busy one. I'll probably stay in tomorrow and relax, catch a breather. But today I want to talk about the crab in a bucket family members. The ones who don't want to see you get out of the bucket. Interestingly, before I ever thought about this video, a couple of days ago, I watched a video with crabs in a bucket, literal crabs. A guy went crab hunting, and as he would toss them in the bucket that he was using to go fetch these crabs, I observed them and I watched them. And I've seen this before. I've seen crabs. I know what they look like. I don't eat them, but I've seen it. But as I watch them, and I see how one would try to get on top. And as it would try to get out, the others would literally drag it back down, right back down into the bucket. And I said, look at this. And I just got this idea, the crab in a bucket, family members. You have family members who don't want to see you elevate. They don't want to see you get ahead of them. Again, this is envy. There's a difference between envy and jealousy. Envy is wanting what someone else has, what someone possess. You want the other individual want what is yours. They believe it should be theirs. And jealousy is being afraid or fearful that someone is going to take what you already have. So I feel envy is so fitting. Maybe I could do both, but envy is quite fitting for the crab in a bucket mentality, where you try to elevate yourself and you have people in your family try to drag you down. But you know, sometimes you can't fault these people because Jesus said the sword is gonna come in your house. So a lot of times the people who want to keep us down are in our bloodline. It's not much the coworker all the time, but it's people in our circle, inner circle, or in your bloodline. You know, I have this good friend, and she had a family member that she would go out with. This is back in the day. Gosh, we were working at the time. This chick would come to functions on the, we have events at the job and different things, and she would come. And at times, my good friend would, give her money or whatever. She took care of her family. You love your family. So you want to hang out with your family and this, that, and the third. But little did she know that individual was jealous of her life, wanted her life. This woman went as far as to make reports of child abuse, child neglect, or whatever. So put her under investigation, put it that way, where crime protective services had to come in and investigate. So whether it's substantiated or not, before they get to that point, they do have to do what's called a preliminary investigation. And when you're under investigation, you have to let your job know, NYPD, that you're under investigation, right? First of all, they're going to reach out to the department anyway. Now, depending on how serious this investigation can be, the last thing a cop wants to hear is draw and present, meaning officer, unholster, present your firearm to us, we're taking your weapon. It's almost like benching a player. If you watch ball game, no player wants to be benched, especially if they're in good health. So being on bench, it's like punishment. So when a cop loses shield and firearm, it's never a good thing, right? So depending on how bad the investigation is, you will probably hear that draw and present. They're taking your weapon, they're going to bench you until this investigation is over, right? Now, You have this woman in her family who secretly pretty much kind of know the ins and out of, you know, how the legal system works or whatever. But the bottom line is this woman wants her life. This woman went as far as to make allegations. Luckily for her, she didn't hear, draw, and present, right? They didn't take her weapon and shield and bench her, but she was under investigation, and it happened more than once. And she was exonerated. Nothing came of it. But the bottom line is this: here you are under investigation. Your kids are babies, and somebody wants your kids taken away from you. And your kids are 7 and 10, somewhere around there, little kids. And you have this family member who would go that far as to want your kids taken away from you, you losing your livelihood. You can no longer provide for your children. And this is someone who comes to your home, you invite out. Sometimes she doesn't have any money, and her cousin is footing the bill. Sometimes they will go to different functions, and here she is the whole time a snake in the grass. And when she realized it was that family member doing it, she was really taken aback. But this is the same person who many years ago, before the immigration thing got the way it is today under Uncle Donald and the other principalities, a lot of agencies didn't really care if someone has a status here in America. That wasn't really a checkbox on some of the reports. I can't recall. Nevertheless, this woman was the same cousin was involved with someone who, well, why was she involved with him? God knows, but she went and had kids with this man. And when things didn't pan out, didn't work out, she's ready to call ICE on this man. And her cousin told her, leave it alone. Let the guy just, forget about it. This is 2002, 2003, whatever, and she never stopped. In the same way she went about getting this guy removed from this country is the same way she went about trying to get her cousin removed from her position with the department. Now, we respect Child Protective Services and we respect the other agencies. And there's certain information they're not allowed to tell someone who's under investigation. But when you're an investigator yourself, sometimes you can find out things where you hire somebody to check this out, what's going on here. And the same MO this chick used on her ex, her children's father, is the same MO she was using on her cousin. And they were able to track records back to her that the phone calls came in with the devices that she used. Now you have someone who, because they feel like they're a low level, and they can't get but so far in life, and they watch what you have. They watch how you treat your kids. They watch that you're in harmony with your husband, your spouse, your partner, whatever, and they want to ruin that. Because here she is, a single woman with kids and no husband, now a deportee, whatever, no husband, basically no child support. Kids want to know where their father is. Doesn't have the best job, the best education. You feel that this person who works for the city and is doing fairly well, not living in a mansion, but she's living decently. And she's in harmony, gratitude with her family. and raising her children well. And you want what she has. So you call the peoples and you constantly call. And every time you call, they have to investigate. They must. We're not faulting the agencies. If a phone call comes in, if a 911 call comes in, it doesn't matter if it comes in 100 times. The job of the unit, the agency, is to respond. So whether they're going to close it out, it's going to be substantiated or unsubstantiated, they still have to do a preliminary investigation. And I'm saying all this to say, a lot of times your family, because you're climbing the ladder, you're getting there, they want to drag you down. They want to pull you down. Personally, I've had family members. Well, one in particular, this one done kick the bucket. I pray he find peace wherever his soul ends up. Try to do something similar to me when I had about 5-7 years on the job at the time. And I had to tell on myself, right? I'll go and say, listen, to the higher ups, this is what's happening. I don't know anything about such subject. Don't know where this individual is. But you might get a phone call from one of my family members saying, I know X, Y, and Z. Yeah? So that's how I roll. Before you tell on me, I'll tell on myself. Because you're not going to drag me down and keep me in the bucket with you guys. So because they see you moving up, you're doing what they can't do or won't do. And depending on what kind of job it is, some jobs, police officer, for example, I'm going to talk about that because that's what I know. Your age is 35, I believe. 35, if it's still the same. 35 is the oldest you can start. You know, you can come on, you can be a rookie. Yeah? And you leave at 62 and a half. You have to vacate your position. There's no cop rolling around 63, 64 years old. Imagine that. But that's what family do a lot of times. They see you moving up. They think you're too sedity. You're living a life they wish they had. And again, I always say, we get the same 24 hours. We get the same 24 hours. What you do with yours is on you. What I do with mine is on me. So if I take the baton and I go running and I say, this is what I want to do, and I go for it, and I'm making it happen, what is it to you? Now, back to my friend. The funny thing is, and again, a lot of people, when we have the crab in a bucket, family members, they never seem to get too far. Their lives just, you know, the ones who try to make up stories on you, make false allegations, yeah, try to involve you in things you're not even involved in. Their lives never tend to be good. They can't make ends meet. They're in the same job that they hate. Some are uneducated because you go and get your little piece of paper and stuff can hang on the wall. Well, I shouldn't say little piece of paper because we work hard for it. When we go and we dedicate ourselves, we're not going to underestimate our achievement for the crab in a bucket people. When we go and we put the time in and the work in and we're being rewarded, yes, we can give ourselves a pat on the back because we're the ones who stayed up sleepless nights trying to get that paper, the degree. When we have to pull in a double, a triple, it's our body going through the ringer, lack of sleep, fatigue. Sometimes you're so tired from working so hard, you can't even eat. The most you can do sometimes when you get in is brush your teeth, take a shower, drink a bottle of water if that much, and drop in the bed and sleep. Sleep like a baby. And somebody want to take away what you work hard for because they have the crab in a bucket mentality. Underachievers. Like Bart Simpson used to say, I believe his shirt used to say, underachiever. I'm proud of it, man. These are the underachievers in the family. And they want to hold you at their level. No, we're not going to stay in the bucket with you. We're going to rise. We're going to rise and get out the bucket. And like one of the videos I said before, jealousy in the family, cheer on your family members when they're doing good. I have a little baby cousin working on her dissertation. By next year, I think she's 32, 33 years old, she'll be getting her degree, her doctorate. And I pray I'll be invited to that ceremony, to that graduation. We applaud them. We don't sabotage them. We don't sabotage them. But back to my friend with her cousin who did that to her. That woman's life is in turmoil. Now my friend retired too. She's, on to bigger and better things, doing her thing. Her kids are now grown. Actually, one of her boys are now on the job. God bless him, and I pray God cover him out there in the streets, because we know it can get crazy. So we pray for the cover of every law enforcement, children, fire department, EMS, whatever, when they go on and take the mantle and the next generation in. But look what God has done. Bless her, this woman's child, my friend's child. Now he's on the job, off probation and everything. Less than 7 years, nevertheless, he's on the job. The same kids this woman was trying to get ACS, Child Protective Services, to take when that fellow was a little baby. Right? Your own family can want to keep their foot on your neck instead of trying to elevate you. They want to keep you down because they look into their future and see they ain't going nowhere. They look into yours and see your light is bright, your star is bright. And they want to come and take what's yours. After you work so hard to get to where you are. But they have that nasty mentality. They have what they call black hearts, just evil. And again, it goes back, the sword. Jesus said he come to bring the sword against your household. Mother against daughter, father against son, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law. In this instant, is your cousin. It don't matter. It's still in your bloodline. It's still your family member. And they try to have you taken out, lose your position. You know how hard it is to go through the police academy? I guess that's why they say you can't come in here after 35. Because after 35, honey, what fence you gonna jump at 35? I mean, you could. Some people, I'm sure, at 40, they're doing their thing. But the bottom line is they say, you know what, we're drawing a line here, 35. And you go in there in your 20s doing your thing, sacrificing. And then somebody want to call these principalities on you to take what you work so hard for just because she knows she can't have it and she wants what's yours. Yeah, evil, red-eyed people in the family trying to keep each other down. And you know, the worst thing is sometimes these are people, sometimes, a lot of times we help. A lot of times when they come crying or saying they don't have this, they don't have that, you know, You in your heart thinking you're doing the right thing, and you try to help them, hoping that if you were ever in that position, they would do likewise. But no, they actually want what you have without putting in the work. They want what you have. The audacity of these people. Yeah? But that's my little spiel for the day. Guys, God bless. And I pray all is well with you on your end. And I'll talk to you and I'll see you soon. Have a good night.